Hello. How good are you just letting go? Just allowing yourself to be. Have you discovered the secret yet? That everything's reversed and backwards and upside down? And that by emptying up, emptying out, you become more full than you could even imagine. That fullness is always there. Always has been, through every embodiment, every lifetime. We're like that turtle again. We carry home with us. We're also like a runaway kid at times, rebellious. But hey, what's free will for except to use it, huh? So anyway, I'd like you to take a few moments and just give yourself a break. We talk about unconditional love, and we try to imagine that because pretty much what goes under the name of love on the planet has strings and hoops and conditions attached. And we don't necessarily mean to do that. It's just in the nature of things, here, now. But this freedom is also in the nature of things, here, now. Or I like it as now, here. That way you put it together and get nowhere, and that's, I like it. So, what if Earth really wasn't a schoolroom? And what if you didn't have diddly squat to learn? What then? Does that pull the rug out from under? If it does, it's only out from under mind, not you. They say seeing is believing. Okay. But the reverse is also true. And it may be a higher truth. Believing is seeing. Yeah, it seems kind of backwards, but that's to mind, remember? Mind doesn't get it, but you don't need mind to get it. You don't need mind to get anything. I mean, we give that artificial and inflated importance while we're here. It's been fun to play that game. But I'm just saying, take a break from it now and again. We make ourselves go through hoops and perform and all of that. You know, we're roughest on the self. Well, that's mind again. That's how mind acts when given the reins of control. And it may have the very, very best intentions behind everything it does. Well, that's nice. But really, it's neither here nor there. There is a perfection that just is. And you are that. You have nothing to learn. nothing. All knowledge is free on the other side. And it's loads of fun to play with. That's fine. But I think the breaks are important. The moments of emptiness are such a recharge, a touching down into who and what you really are. And by taking them, you're taking the reins of control back from the mind, because the mind is very uncomfortable with just being still. Doesn't like it one bit, always wants to be up and doing. Well, that's a very yang thing, very masculine energy that could benefit by the recognition of the yin. So, I guess I have a few things to say to your mind. If you'll relax and center within, they are this. Right and wrong is an invention. It's a part of a game. And it's not important. It's really not. And you are beautiful. But you have to be the beauty to be able to see it. All that you want can be found by going within. You won't be able to take 3D and knock it around and force it to come into consonance with your desires. Ain't gonna happen. That's not the point of being in 3D, now is it? Mind is a great creator. But when you create without heart, you generally suffer later. Which of course is also now. Anything and everything you think, do, and say, you're doing to yourself. If it makes you feel big to beat up on people, physically, mentally, or emotionally, the day comes when you'll get to feel every blow. To have the shock of recognition that I am my brother. Not just his or her keeper, but that's actually me. Another facet, another aspect of self. It's also something you've invented. Nothing is what it appears to be. And mind tends to make all of its decisions and develop its beliefs based on what things appear to be. There's something vaster out there for you. But it takes a darn good bit of letting go in order to be able to enter through the eye of the needle, as they say. You don't have to get rid of all your things, just your attachment to them, your belief in their importance. One day, everyone realizes that we don't own things, they own us. And whatever it is, it at least requires dusting, cleaning, care when the grandkids visit. You know? Things own us. We are totally free and perfect in this moment, no matter what seems to be. What's your level of courage? It takes venturing out from the herd and from the mass hypnosis that goes by the name of 3D reality, at least in the West. You are an adventurer, or you wouldn't even be incarnate here on this planet. This is no easy job. It has truly hellish aspects to it. Just the fact that beings suffer is painful, especially as we realize that we are that. No one can go hungry without us feeling the effect on some level of our being. We are that. Now, mind has a tendency to cast everything in a negative light. It's been programmed like that. But there is heart, who knows better in every case. We're here for the adventure. We're here for the experience. We're here to bring light. The question is, how do we do that? What does that look like? Well, friends, I gotta tell you, mine's not gonna like it. We do that by just being. Your being is active in every microsecond. Your being is a doing. But it's not the kind of doing that mind generally can relate to. We, each one of us, are powerhouses of immense proportion. But believing is seeing. And so the secret is to go within and find these things out. And as you do that, as you make room, as you're empty enough, then you can begin seeing them manifest around you, for they are there. But the believing comes first. Or, equally true, the getting rid of beliefs that clash with true reality, such as that we're small and ineffectual and die when the body dies. All of that rot goes directly against the grain of what truly is. And if it hadn't been applied on such a massive scale, not just to us, but to those around us, to everyone coming up through school, if it hadn't been applied in such a huge way, it never would have stuck. Now, you contain it all. When will you let yourself be the container for that? When will you allow it in? Moments of peace. We can all have them, and they strengthen what's best. Can't really say what's best in us, because what's best is us. The whole thing is a mixture of good, better, and best. That's as close as I'm going to come to duality. Because even your dark side is good. Not when seen from 3D. See, there's the whole mistake. If one's being made is to identify with anything in 3D, including the body-mind. And then things can look a mess. They can look like they need fixing. The action that's required to be taken will occur quite naturally through you. But it's best if you don't know a thing. That way you're not blocking your divinity. We get in the most trouble when we think we know something. It turns out that's when we're most often working against the self. And again, it's okay. All of it is okay. It's the mind that's been programmed that can't see this. And until you can see it, I don't know. If there are any shortcuts to awakening, the one that I've enjoyed most is letting go. Source is always showing me what's the next thing that needs to go. Now, it's not always the most enjoyable experience, but then how would it get my attention otherwise? And so in the end, it turns out to have been a very enjoyable experience. The fruit of it is great. Well, what's to stop us from knowing that up front? What's to stop us from knowing that love is the common denominator of everything? If you can act with good intent, with integrity, what makes you think Source can't? Does this help? I don't know. It was just a thought, just an idea of how best to offer a gift. To hold out a fruit that is tasty beyond anything. Taking frequent breaks, even if they're just 10 seconds. time we're going to find pretty soon isn't anything like what we think it is. There can be such power in 10 seconds that can overwhelm the, 8 hours of your workday. We're more in charge than we think, just not in the ways that mind thinks or mind would like. And that's fine. Everything is fine. Everything is okay. Even the worst badass in the world, I am that. As are you. Very quickly, we acclimate to the no judgment thing. It's just different. And maybe the best way in is by not going anywhere, but just by being. You perform your greatest service just by being who you are, where you are, what you are. That higher self, that is your true reality, isn't sleeping, isn't distant. It's just that seemingly, while being inserted into 3D, we don't have full conscious awareness of it. We do. It just seems that we don't. I like the way Bashar said about the thing where we only supposedly use 10% of our brain. I had to laugh. He said from their perspective, we use 100% of the brain in order to think that we're only using 10%. Just be open to anything and not so quick to judge. In the end, you're only judging yourself. Every judgment is a limit. To hold a belief is a sort of a judgment. I judge this to be so. And the more letting go we do, the more fun the ride can be. Because we have choice and free will. By clinging tightly, it's like we've got our hand on the motorbike accelerator and we roll it back a bit within certain limited parameters. We do have some control, as mind would define control over what we experience. But there's no fighting that's going to do any good. Whether you're fighting what you think is, whether you're fighting with others, whether you're fighting with yourself, and mind is really good at that, there's no fighting that's going to turn out to be useful. It's some kind of ultimate Tai Chi thing here. Flow is what is, and you are that. But the flow is blocked here, there, and every which way until we choose for it not to be. We're just blocking ourselves. Everything we're doing, the way we're treating life, is how we're treating the self. And on the inner, we know it. And maybe this gives an insight into the importance of loving the self. It's the most real thing you can do. Love is the open sesame to everything, the common denominator of everything, the foundation on which it's all made. People get into beginnings and endings and things. It's in the nature of 3D to think along those kind of lines, and so they want a big bang. And they're worried about a big ending. I suspect it's all nonsense. That it's just an isness, and if you want big bangs, you can have them. But overall, they're pretty meaningless. When will we deal with ultimate things? Ultimate things are more like consciousness. That's the substance of things. And we're generating that every nanosecond, if there is such a thing. And there's that flow that you are that makes a difference. Can you sense it? Can you feel it? You're plugged into literally everything. There's not an atom that you're not entangled with. The universe in a grain of sand. All of cosmos is within, which is one of the reasons it doesn't do any good to go out and seek. It's so funny. All the seeking in the world, and the heart is driven, or you feel like you're driven sometimes, and it's just natural, and you're going with that flow, but eventually you find that you were the answer that you were in search of out there. It's all fractal. Every illumination morphs out to the whole. You are that. So every time, anywhere, anyone has some sort of understanding or illumination, that just happened in you. You can access it too. Not in 3D, but you're so much more than 3D. Maybe this is accessing that more, the moreness. I don't know. We built the limitation into things here. It was needed in order for us to have the kind of game that we wanted. We are the creators of that. It's just none of it. It's like the mind thinks. And the sooner we divorce, not from the mind, but from believing it and from letting it be in control, the faster we'll recharge and remember. Our dismembered self will come together. We are divine. We've laid it out just so. Can you make peace with that? Can you just allow it to be without judging it? And thinking it's so terrible that A does this to B and C does that to this other group over here, and you know, all of the judgment. Can you just like shut that down for a while? I mean, the mind will go on. That doesn't mean you have to participate. Look away. It's not so hard. It's only hard if you think it is. Change your belief. recognize your power over that. You're crafting the self along with everything else. Whatever you do, make it fun. As we remember to enjoy, we charge the whole thing with that enjoyment. Who and what you are serves just by being. And you have very much to say over what it is you're flowing into this whole thing. It's your very being. It's your divine essence, but you flavor it with every thought, word, and deed. You flavor it, that's all. Trust yourself that you knew what you were doing when you entered in here. Stop fighting, being at war with yourself and with things. Accept. On the other side of acceptance is love. It's there for you, but as long as you're generating fighting, then that's what you insert into the whole. Choice. It's all about choices here. Okay. I hope this has been helpful, at least to some, as a break. You know, as a letting go, as a support for not finding, but uncovering the true self, the one that already is, the one that is perfect just as is. That's you. It requires your acknowledgement and your acceptance. And the more you do that, the more you're empowered. You can step out of the matrix. Remember, you contain the matrix. You have more say-so than you know. It's just different. It's just different. But you are empowered. You are as empowered as you choose to be. I hear a whole lot of minds having difficulty with that. Believing is seeing. You're in charge of your beliefs. Change them. Have some fun with it. See what comes. Talk to you again soon.